Hello. Let's get some music started. Huh. Hello. Welcome everyone to this Friday afternoon, evening, depends where you live. My name is Yora. Hello, it's very nice to meet you. Uh yeah, I really don't know what to say anymore. But like the main idea, the main goal of this is to read through the book I wrote. That's probably still have a lot of issues, but it's at the point where I did everything I could. I'm also very interested of all the voice stuff. Let's say, for example, uh, voiceover, voice actings, and every single thing connected to your voice. So this is maybe why I want to read through the book myself. Yeah, let's get this started slowly. So first one will be the blurb. We can start from here. A short introduction into the story. Please be kind. I've never done this or anything similar in any capacity before, so would be very grateful. Okay. Knowledge and power are the two pursuits that drive humans to test the boundaries of reality. One of those experiments led to the shattering, an accidental collision of the two realms. As a result, people at random around the world changed forever. They grew taller and stronger. Their hair and eyes changed colors. It's been 2 years since the shattering, and new people with powers still emerge around the time of spring in their 15th year. It happened to Miku too. From a normal student, she turned into a superhuman over the course of a week. Her amber hair faded to a shade of silver, as one of her eyes whitened. And there was Yuki. He didn't experience any bodily growth or change in color, but he was also special. Polar opposite of the spectrum, he became ill with an unknown disease that nobody could figure out how to treat. Both of them, stripped of their freedom and dreams, were forced into a military school, learning about the new powers to eventually become a special operators. Humanity let an unknown force shape the world, even if by accident. But when you knock on the on doors of the unknown, the void often echoes back. Yeah, short summary, straight to the point. I forgot to start recording this, so I will have to redo the entire thing later. Cool. I get some warnings. I will have to fix that at some point. What is this music? Doesn't work. Yeah, this doesn't work either. I should make a playlist. Maybe I will do that later. Yeah. So back to the point. This is the blurb. If you are interested in the story, please follow. I will do this sort of thing, the reading streams, maybe once a week for now, as until I get more comfortable with reading and both streaming and everything. But yeah, that's the general idea and plan for now. So let's close this and let's go back to the main area. Mm. this point, I won't be able to interact with anything for like 20 minutes or so. Maybe 15, depends how long it takes me to read the entire thing. But it shouldn't be a problem since nobody is watching right now. But it'll be like that. If nothing else, this will be just my notes of progress. And I will gladly revisit this in half a year, maybe a year, and see how much I improved on things. A public internet diary of a space blob. Okay, let's go. Mom, what are you doing with that bottle? Mom, please, no. Where is Dad? Asked a gentle young female voice. That is... He couldn't handle you speak anymore. God is punishing us for our sins, the older woman replied. This is his righteous judgment. Please accept his wisdom. Mom, wait a minute, let's think about this for a second, pleaded the girl, but it was hopeless. Time to think has passed. God's work must be done by his too. No! Ah! The vial shattered, leaving her wallowing in pain. The girl screamed for her mother to help, but it was muffled by the sound of acid boiling away at her skin. Another dream. Fun memories. It's all I have now in this boring confinement. How long have I been here for? A few weeks? A month? No idea. Haven't seen the light of day or another human being for a long time. It's okay. I don't need either. As long as I can feel him close to me. His scent, his aura, his presence, the touch of his skin, how I long to finally meet him. It's okay. Just wait a little longer for me. I'm coming, and soon we will be happy and free together. The girl thought to herself. Bzzz. Miss Bell, I need you to walk towards the door and place your back on the sampler plate. I'm very sorry for the trouble. Bzzz, said a male voice from beyond the speaker. I could do that if I knew where the plate was. It's hard to navigate in complete darkness, you know? She responded sharply to his order. Bzzz. Please follow the sound from the speaker to navigate the room. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Bzzz. The voice guided her towards the plate for another sampling. In total silence, a quiet friction of a small plate shifting, and a needle precisely harvested her spinal fluid. It was inhumane to keep someone in those conditions and do with them whatever they wanted. Still, no one outside this place knew what was going on, or that this place even existed. She sighed and thought to herself, it's fine. After all, I'm the one who wanted to be here. Painful, but it's okay. They need to know everything about me to let me into the city. Unfortunately, my samples are quite unstable, to put it lightly. Everything for you, my darling. Cool. September started to pass, turning into October, as the first Academy for Influential People of the United Federation of Pacific welcomed new students. Juniors of this facility were taken from all around the country. Instead of continuing their education in traditional high schools, pursuing normal careers and dreams, they were forced into a military life. They can still pursue other jobs, but the expectation is present. Again, I forgot to record. Let's go. As the third enrollment, educational program was already designed. While it still had some issues, it focused strictly on developing students as individuals rather than molding them into tools, understanding why certain things happen to them, to their bodies, and how they can turn this curse into a blessing, or at least that's what the public statement says. Class 1A was made up of the most promising candidates. It was also the first year to be filled with peers of the same age. Instead of making a massive mess among the students. Filled with colorful heads, all well-built and some even very muscular. None of them looked like teenagers anymore. Oh yeah, cool. the music didn't work too. Ah, Scav City. Let's go. It's been 10 minutes without music. Oh. The more you know. While the class looked a lot more like a lab, it was filled with small, white desks with semi-holographic screens from which the semi-holographic screens protruded. White walls with only a dark blue board at the front, a black and dark grey podium for the teacher in front of it, and a dark grey metal doors. Designed to provide a perfect environment for students to focus on the lesson without any distractions. A row of windows on the wall and bright white LEDs illuminated the space perfectly. The entire room was silent, except for the professor delivering his lecture and the occasional cough from one of the students. It is theorized that by opening too many dimensional rifts at the same time, the shattering occurred, breaking through the dimensions. Many great scientists lost their lives that day, including the famous Eric Gaue, known for his theory of omega position of particles between the veil, spoke the old man. Yet, we cannot say their sacrifices were in vain. Can anyone tell me some positive things achieved in the last 2 years? Thomas Miyazaki was the head of research in the Central UFOP's Urban Development Facility and a history and science teacher for Class 1A. Not only as work, but also passionate about history, hoping new generation would learn from past mistakes to some degree. Presenting himself as tall, distinct old man with short grey haircut in a style with shaved sides, sporting a pair of old-school, round glasses on top of his nose, he didn't look his age at all. Looking at his straight posture, lively way he moves, and accent his sentences, no one would believe he's almost 80 years old. His age also didn't cloud his passion and hopes towards younger generations. Miku, what do you have? Replied the raised-hand professor, asking the quiet girl sitting at the end of the classroom near the window. Although her good grades and beautiful features made her very popular in the entire school, she wasn't very outgoing. Long silver hair wrapped her head and well-built torso, her heterochromic amber-silver eyes, and light facial features making her stand out even here. Remember to hydrate. Health is very important. Medication have become very affordable to most people. Most complex operations have become trivial in the hands of skilled operators. Most of the deadly diseases have been eradicated. Good observations, complimented his student professor. How about you, Yuki? Do you have anything to add? The professor directed his attention to the small and sickly boy in the middle, even though he didn't offer his hand. Skinny, pale, and coughing. He looked very out of place in this class, yet his grades proved otherwise. Dark brown messy hair, deep-set almond-shaped blue eyes, a small nose, and a dry cracked lips. One could only wonder, with all the advancement in modern medicine, why was he so sick? New methods of production, less power and labor intensive, new sources of almost infinite energy, making it cheap and affordable, ended world hunger and cheap housing, incredibly reducing homelessness, also improving standards of living. Okay. I think that's plenty. Thank you both, but I cannot let you give all the answers. Looking down at his watch, he continued. As the lunch break grows closer, here's your home assignment. Write an essay about how the world changed in your opinion. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Anything that you have on your mind. It won't be graded, so don't worry about it being right, since there are no wrong answers. As the last of his words appeared on the student's tablet, the bell rang, making the classroom noisy again. Students started chatting and moving around. Some headed towards the cafeteria. Others pushed the desk together to eat with friends. Not everyone likes the noise, and the classrooms tend to stay quieter. Unfortunately, not everyone has that comfort. Miku, due to her unique appearance and good grades, became a very popular person not only in her class but also throughout the school. Even if she didn't come down to the cafeteria, she would be surrounded by her peers while trying to eat. Being fair, she was talented not only in academics. Unpacking her handmade lunch was a treat in itself. Small rice bowls covered with sesame, little vegetable treats on a toothpick, rolls with ham and salad, a fair bit of food with exquisite presentation. After a month in a new school, it became a tradition to prepare a unique meal and share it with your friends. Lucky for her, Amy and Jane would take care of all the people disturbing the peaceful meal. On the other hand, there is Yuki, sitting alone, wearing his earphones and reading from his tablet. He doesn't eat during school, but he has to prepare lunch, which is often on par with or greater than Mika's. Yet, the attention he receives for it is of a different kind. "Yo, Yuki! No lunch today," said Seth, pulling one of his earphones out. Seth was an ordinary bully, muscular slightly beyond the new norm. With a fiery red tornado of a hairstyle on top of his handsome face, he stood out easily, having 3 henchmen with him as part of his friends group, constantly following him. His main asset, however, was the prestige that allowed him to ignore some rules provided by his family's position in the military. Considering Yuki's small posture and being very sick, he was a perfect target for him to pick on. He didn't fight it either, since it was the botter. Spending his energy on dealing with him day after day after day would accomplish nothing other than bringing more hostility. It was already a miracle he got into this academy, so being on Seth's wrong side wasn't smart. "No, sorry, I didn't have time in the morning to prepare a meal." "You know what it means. I want carbonara pasta and a pulled pork sandwich. And a pulled pork for me. I also want one. And a veggie roll." While the boys stated their order, a loud discussion started near Miku's desk. "What a wimp. I have no idea how the two of you ended up together. Glad you came to your senses." "Amy!" Another girl raised her voice in shock. "What? It's true. Do you think someone as sick and weak can fit among us?" "Bogus." The girl continued. "I mean, this academy is not only military. We have a place for people of different interests, and if he got in, he deserves it. Just look at his grades," said the more reasonable of the two. Her name was Jane, and from the looks of it, she was the more considerate of the bunch. Green hair spilling over her shoulders, with short bangs covering her green eyes partially. Muscular body, yet slender under her uniform. Amy had short, messy crimson hair with golden strands, and was more of a tomboy. Her slightly tanned complexion only added to her charm. Body-wise, she was on the larger side, where her curves still broke through the shape of her muscles. Sitting comfortably at the middleweight, however, she was both athletic and very powerful. Instead of standard uniform, consisting of grey jacket with UFOP's mark on the chest, red tie and a black short skirt, she opted for matching pants, as the boys were, even if it fell out of place compared to her surrounding. It suited her very well. Grades not grades. Empty paraben he is of no use either way. Seth might be denser than concrete, but at least he will be useful as a stove, joked Amy. Mick was completely unaffected by her rude remarks. And so was Yuki, leaving for the cafeteria. Seth, however, wasn't pleased. Slamming his hands hard on the desk, he stood up and started shouting. "Oi, I think you really don't know where to shut up. Come on, Seth. We all know that without Yuki you wouldn't pass a single test. No doubt you will be a great soldier, but only if you decide to listen to someone for once," berated him Amy. Visibly enraged, he pushed the desk away and started to make his way towards the end of the classroom. Truth often hurts. This is precisely what Yuki tried to avoid all this time. "What are you going to do about it? Coming closer to scare me? Dude, if you had a single cell used for thinking, you would know that it won't then end any different than the hand-to-hand training. Give up, or do you want to go to the gym?" Amy stood her ground firmly and continued making a joke out of him. Sensing his defeat, Seth indeed backed off. Scoffing under his breath, he muttered some words and left the classroom. Every Tuesday, students participated in hand-to-hand exercises. and Amy was the best in the school. She had been training martial arts since she was little, which gave her an advantage, but she was still far from perfect. In her eyes, perfection doesn't exist, which is why she keeps training hard every day to be the best she can and to reach as close to it as possible. As of now, no one in the class could fully utilize the new powers, and to combine them into a fight was a task of entirely different difficulty. If you were to make a bet, however, who would be the first to do that? It would be Amy in most minds. That was ruthless, said Jane. We should be a team. If we cannot stop the infighting early, there's no way we can utilize our strength correctly, injected Miku. Amy might be right, but making enemies isn't really good either. You should be more careful around him. I heard his family is really influential. Maybe. Still, I will not back down from what I believe in, added Amy with a warm smile. Influential or not, being here gives me enough immunity so I can at least speak my mind. So, you want for Yuki to realize his potential by showing him his weakness? Asked curious Jane. No, he genuinely should drop out. He might be smart, but he'll be eaten alive. Every day he's sicker, make it Seth least of his problems. Oh, by the way, do you even know what he has? Amy turns to Miku. It was around the time you guys broke up when he started to get worse. That's not good. I have no idea and would rather not think about it, dismissed it's the silver-haired girl. Yuki was her childhood friend and now her ex-boyfriend, but no one really knew why they broke up. People speculate that it had to be something significant and are connecting it to his sickness. However, anytime the question is asked, Miku just brushes it off as something ordinary and uninteresting. Looking back at how they sat next to each other, laughed, and were a perfect couple and friends, it's bizarre to see Miku act as if she didn't recognize his existence, but it also made a few people happy. After 10 more minutes, Yuki came back to the classroom with the food. Immediately, he was confused why Seth and his friend weren't there. But what could he do? Placing the orders on the corresponding desk, he went back to his seat and continued reading from his tablet. Although he could still hear some unfavorable comments and whispers about him from all around the class, he didn't pay them any mind. After all, he had empty powers, meaning it was a miracle he was even discovered and brought into this school in the first place. He also knew his reputation was bad because he was dating the most popular girl in the class, which made some of the guys jealous. People with empty power didn't experience any bodily growth, hair color change, or other development, which made them harder to find compared to the rest. People with powers, typically around the age of 15, became taller and more muscular. The natural hair color changed to resemble their power, making them stand out. People like Amy or Seth, with red influence, had the power to turn elements into heat, resembling fire or lava. Jane had a green influence that allowed her to control the life forces of lesser organisms, such as plants, bacteria, and small animals. Miku had a diamond influence, which made her the polar opposite of Yuki's power. The ability to control her influence, adjusting it to suit her needs at the time, was scarce and highly sought after. The only influence that was rarer was the empty one. It had no special abilities and could not use any catalysts. Those instruments designed to help focus users' influence are repelled by his type, making it an anomaly and a huge scientific mystery. The situation became even more complicated as there are fewer than 5 people worldwide with that power. I'm not the best at this. And every time someone starts to conduct research, it causes a severe illness in the person. Due to this and focusing funds on other matters, that research was deemed dangerous and a waste of resources for the time being. The connection between the sickness and research has never been proven, and it has yet to appear in public domain. It was just a symptom of the power, as far as anyone was concerned. Still, his sickness was special. No one experimented on him, nor did they try to. He fell ill out of nowhere, as his grades improved, and life lay in ruin. Yep. And this is it. This is the first part. About 15 minutes of reading. Maybe next part I will do a bit longer. The entire book is about 330 pages, so around 82,000 words. I also don't want to have this too long, like 15, 20 minutes, maybe upwards of 30 minutes of reading at a time would be the best. Because I don't feel like it's going to be that much entertaining, at least as of now. So, yeah. Maybe around 3,000 to 5,000 words per stream would be great. So we have at least 10 weeks, 10, 15 weeks. So maybe we should be done within 3 months. And then we'll see what's next. Yeah. I'm gonna take a little short break. Be right back. And I'm back for a little bit. Yeah, from more of the informational stuff. A bit really slow, I will have to. Yeah, more informational stuff, since I don't see any interactions as of now. Maybe on future weeks. We'll see. What's the most important is the fun, and that I'm learning something, so yeah, we will see. Organizational stuff. The blurb will be, because I failed with music at the start, it should be very soon at the channel. I will extract the audio and make it and upload it maybe as a short soon-ish. But because I forgot to record the entire reading like I did right now, it might take me few days to re-record this and upload this as a separate part outside of the stream. And yeah, Scuff City, as I said before, but it will be like that. Also, this is an introductory stream, I guess, to the entire thing, and I'm unfortunately very sick, so it will be also a very short stream. Luckily, I didn't think I got into anyone's time slot. Yeah, cool. That's basically all I got. Maybe if I get more questions, some questions, anything, then I could respond. But we'll see. Yeah, that's all for today. See you next week.